Alright, so this will be the other thing that I'm going to record, and it is 9 minutes after my last video. To anyone that wants to figure that one out, this is geared more towards Soshi, Odin Hand, and any other possible balanced druids that will be joining the guild in the future before disbanded on Bloodhoof. If you see this and you're not a balanced druid on Bloodhoof, maybe you should come over here because we need members. Anyway, this is the rotation I use intro. I'm going to be turning off everything that would benefit me outside of default. So, no feed, no filed. This Demon Hunter kicked my ass. Let's see. I already covered this briefly in the other video, but I'm going to go over it just again. Right now, for trinkets, I have a few to pick from. KGBW is legitimately useless. It's here because I don't want to sell it and possibly reloot it. I have Metronome. Metronome would be a good choice in place of Charm on a high mobility fight. However, on most fights I'm finding right now, the Charm pulls ahead mostly because of the flat int is higher. If I had a mythic Metronome, maybe things would be different, but I don't. By the way, standing stationary, you gain haste every 1 second. You can move, and it does not remove the buff. It doesn't do anything to the buff. But if you stay still again, the buff will continue to ramp up. So I thought this was going to be something that it wasn't. I thought this was going to be something that required you to stand still for 20 seconds to get the buff out of it. It's not that case. If you can cast 3 or 4 spells while standing still, you will get the buff, and then you'll have the stationary haste that you can use while moving. You can use those to apply dots to increase tick rate. On top of that, you can also use this just standing still to cast more spells. Total haste you gain from it is 5,750, which, if you look at the stats, 8,953 increases by 23%, which means it's roughly about 8 or 9% haste that you just get flat from this thing. It has a 20-second duration and has a 1 minute 30-second cooldown, which means that 20 out of 90 seconds are usable. That's 2 out of 9, which basically means it has, well, you don't have to do it this way to figure it out, but it has 1 minute 10-second downtime. You can use 2 of these in 1 incarnation cooldown. You will be using this trinket on cooldown, no questions asked, just to have it line up with incarnation on the second go around. That's kind of a downside, but not really, because it just means you're getting the full benefit out of the trinket. Next we have Whispers in the Dark. I have ran Heroic Gul'dan for 2 months now. I have never even seen the Heroic version drop. I'd love to get it. I don't have it. That's that. Ring of the Scarred Clan. Didn't actually get it. A friend of mine gave it to me. Well, we're in the guild. Cap gave it to me. Mythic 10, Titan Forged, Grasping Tentacle Loop. You will find this inside of Maw of Souls. It is quite possibly the best in slot ring that we will find prior to the Heroic Argenten ring, which, just to clarify, let's see, Tumas Agaris, Argenten. This is the only ring that has any bonus to us at all for our class. It's Haste Mastery ring, which is both of our primary stats. It's mastery heavy, which is even better because we are now a mastery driven class rather than a haste driven class, which is why my haste is down from 30% to 25%, 26 at night. However, 18 crit, which I need to get up to 20% for my single target build. My AoE build has 20%, but it does not matter because my AoE build does not take care of the 2 set, which increases the damage from Star Surge by 30% for crits, which hitting 50-50 is very reliable. 48 theoretically means that out of 100 times you're missing 2 more than if you had 50. I mean, that's true for any fraction below 50, but basically 50% is literally half of your crits. Well, half of your attacks will be crits. I'm running Promise of a Loon. Right now, I'm also having, what other legendaries? Lydia and the Child, best in slot AoE, by far, which we'll cover that in a minute. Eco Wraith, haven't upgraded this, don't really feel the need to. KGBW, wherever it might be, there we go. So, I'm pretty sure I have another legendary. I can't think of the name of it, nor can I find it, which probably means I don't have it. Yeah, so I'll just say I'm using these 5 for now. And realistically, I'm only interchanging the shoulders and the boots. The bracers, right now, are simming the highest among all legendaries, meaning that this is best in slot for AoE and single target, above Impeccable Fell Essence, above Emerald Dreamcatcher, which is now actually really low. Emerald Dreamcatcher, I'm kind of sad about that. I figured with the extended duration, that how long you had to put cast into it to keep it up would mean that it would be up for a lot longer. That doesn't seem like it's the case because nobody's really using it, at least not competitively. You definitely get more use out of Ulnitz and Impeccable Fell Essence. Still don't have this ring yet. Would really like to get it. Really badly. Not gonna sit here and go through the odds of hitting it because the odds of hitting it are basically 50-50, but you know, never gonna happen. Oh, it's probably gonna be my last one. Anyway, right now I'm running 2 set tier 19, 2 set tier 20. The 19 damage bonus is really nice because it's just a flat 15% crit chance, which once again scales with your crit, which makes your crit slightly better. 20% crit flat makes it 35, 18 makes it 33. They're both basically 1 in 3 casts are crit. But ideally, you're going to want to aim for the tier 20 4-piece as soon as possible. The 4-piece from tier 20 gives you the metronome effect built into your gear. However, it is much more reliable. It will always stack to 5 times, unlike the metronome that rarely stacked past 3, and the metronome duration was drastically shorter. What was it? 12 seconds? Whereas to this is 20. You will get much more benefit at higher haste percentages out of this. Like, you'll be getting 9% for probably almost, if not more than half the duration. Some fights you'll be getting that 9% for 17 seconds of that duration. And then you'll just ramp out the other 15 over 3 or 4 seconds, and you'll just have 14 seconds of 15% haste. And that will be stupid strong. Like, just redundantly strong. So, this is the single target rotation to those who don't know, I'm gonna just let's dump out 2 moons and let them recharge. I should have done this in the first place. Chunk a starfall away. Okay, so DBM pull, let's say 10. On 2, you would pre-pot, but I'm not going to, simply for the sake of other things. Precast Wrath, cast New Moon, Dots, Trinket, go through your moons, dump AP, casts to deplete, reestablish, more dots, not more dots, more casts, moon. That was a bad onus because I'm trying to show single target, but you get the idea. My mouse is just a little bit below it. So this one will hit this one as well, sadly. We're going to reapply Sunfire here because we have less than 3 seconds remaining. Moonfire will be replaced once this Lunar Strike is cast, so here. 2 more. Continue to dump out your charges without going over. That one, I made sure to get onto that. This is when the build starts to feel a little repetitive because we are starving for AP. So we're using whatever procs we can get. Onus helps out so much here with that because you just get free points into your thing. We're gonna refresh Sunfire after this. Yep. Full Moon cast. This by the way will change slightly based on how much you move. I didn't cast the trinket on cooldown because I thought I'd stop Sims by now, but I'm just trying to show off that it's possible without food or flask to reliably pull 800 plus K TBS. Gear plays a factor, but you should be able to pull, I would say, in the margin of 700 plus K DPS doing the same rotation, just understanding the basics of what's going on here as far as the build. So if you're running pots, if you're running flasks, if you're running heroism, if you're running augment runes, this staple DPS is drastically higher. I'm gonna leave it there. It'll deteriorate to somewhere around 750k, but the main thing here is how much it was able to put out with no buffs whatsoever. You're going to want to aim for above 700k before this duration where your dots are falling off. That's really all I got. I wish you luck. If you need to rewatch this, you can. Do it as many times as you want. I will try to find a timestamp for when the actual rotation comes in, if you just want to look at that. This isn't quite perfect as far as my rotation. However, it is, I would say, in the margin of near perfect. I do my absolute best not to overcast, which means I try not to use spells I don't have charges for unless I absolutely have to, which is something you should strive for. On top of that, you should be dumping out your moons, never to allow 3 to accumulate. I might have done that this time. Once again, it's now 6 AM. I am stupid tired. Anyway, good luck. and happy hunting.